Good evening, YouTube. This is Kaylin Stern coming at you with Meal 5 in my 2020 Ration Mashup series. And as I stated in my last stream last Sunday, that during Ramadan, these will be much later in the evening because of the fact that I had just now broken my fast for the day. And I wait till just after sunset to do that, and then I can, do the traditional thing of eating a few dates, and I take my evening or the meds that I would normally take at supper time, and I skip the midday dose when I'm fast. So I went ahead, before I broke my fast, I went ahead and set everything up. My water on the boil, and I know there's no one in here yet, but I know people will drift in later if they do catch that I'm live. I probably should have posted on my community tab that I will be going live later, but as Ramadan goes on, this will be getting a little bit later each week because the sun sets a few minutes later every day. So I'm going to go ahead and show you what I have. Just happen to have a mixture of American and British items. And this happens to be a halal entree. I have had a halal beef stew before, but this is from, I believe this is from XMRE. So their packaging is a little bit different. They put a brown label on the retort pouch. So I'll put this in my water that I got on the stove. I got a bottle of cold water here for the cold drink. And something that has come from British Rations that I'm excited to try, these Mexican sweet chili flavored peanuts. And there's a lot of peanuts in here. There's 100 grams of peanuts in there, so that's quite a bit. Then the hot drink will be this mocha cappuccino. And although it can be mixed in this bag, I'm going to be doing it in my foreignemery.com mug. And my cold drink will be this orange powder. I've had a slightly different one that was in an even bigger pouch not too long ago. So that will go in, that was a week before last. Last week was lemon lime. So it'll be this orange powder. So some of these might be slightly different. Then I have from XMRE a dry fruit mix. And I'll give you a close-up of because of the shininess in the package, it might not be too easy to read that, but it's got bananas, papaya, pineapple, raisins, and a few other non-fruit stuff. This will be the garbage bag. Then I have cheese spread with jalapenos. I have not had this yet, so I'm looking forward to trying this. And the chipotle tortillas. I have had these once before. I like them. I'm happy to get these again. And what I will do is I will put them on top of the pot that I will put my beef stew in, and that's how I will warm the tortillas. So That should make them a little bit more flexible. And I got an idea for the cheese spread. I don't know if it'll work, but I may somehow warm this as well. I'm not sure how I'll do that, but I'm going to go ahead and put this, I'm going to go ahead and open my drinks first before I put this in the pot. See, when I tore this open, I tore it off camera, but this almost ripped this seal up here. So this would have made it a little bit harder to seal back up if I were to mix this in this pouch. I can definitely smell the cocoa in it. So this is what the mocha powder looks like. That obviously reminds you of Tang. It doesn't look as orange on my screen as it does to my eyes, but it is definitely the color of Tang. So, in fact, I'll go ahead and mix this up first because this will probably need a little extra time to dissolve. And foreignamory.com spork. Sometimes these powders aren't the greatest at dissolving in a timely manner. I watched Traversing Food earlier today, and he did a meal cold weather, and the tropical punch that he had took quite a bit of time to dissolve. He stirred it like 3 or 4 times before he took his first sip of it. I'll go ahead and set this here. Then I will put this in the water, and I will put these tortillas on top to warm them. And partway through, I'll probably put the cheese packet on to warm it up, and I'll be right back. And now I have the water for the for the mocha. The smell off for this, the cocoa is definitely there. So it does smell like a mocha. A cheap one at that, but it smells like a mocha. I'll go ahead and set that back there. So it's got a bit of a foam on it. I'm going to go ahead and get the snacks out. The peanuts, I'll put those here. This does not have a tear notch, so I will cheat. I just cut it open with scissors. Well, that I didn't cut it very straight, but that is how much 100 grams of those peanuts is. I'll go ahead. Now this is just 1 ounce, so that's 28 grams. And that's 100 grams, so oxygen absorber. I guess there's no raisins. There's just pineapple and papaya in addition to the banana. But there's coconut oil in it, not actual coconut. But it's more banana than anything, so. So that is it. It's a lighter meal. I don't have an additional side. I could have had another mashed potatoes, but I used that. I did an experiment a couple weeks ago. I took a packet of the mashed potatoes that I got from Ration, and I combined that with the Spanish vegetable soup mix. Just as an experiment. I probably should have done that on camera. That would have been interesting, but yeah, I made a jazzed up mashed potato out of that, and that actually tasted pretty good. So I'm going to go ahead and, well, let's see. Jerry is in the house. Thanks for dropping in. I'm going to go ahead and take a taste of these chile flavored peanuts. They really get a close-up. You can see the little specks of the seasoning. Okay, focus, you idiot. I can see the dark specks. That's the chili seasoning on these peanuts. And it's not all that spicy. I can still taste the salt. But they're actually pretty good. I have another packet of these in one of my other Mashup bags, so those will make another appearance. But these are actually quite good. So I'm definitely going to enjoy munching on these. And I'm going to give the orange drink another stir. There's still a lot of powder that hasn't dissolved. Yeah, this one, I'm using my Galaxy S5 again. And I've had that since 2014. I don't have cell service on it. I just use it for internet and video shooting and taking pictures to post online. But sometimes it focuses, sometimes it doesn't. My LG Phoenix that is newer, that I have done some video with, sometimes that does the same thing. And I'll give that another stir later on. But my home internet reinstall was supposed to happen Wednesday, but there was an issue because, well, the wiring that was supposed to be repaired inside the building that goes from the service box into my apartment was not done, and it turns out it is not compatible with Mediacom's new systems, even though it was working when I first had it installed last week, or maybe a couple weeks ago. But when it got cut by a contractor, it it just quit working. But then there was something else that was, the tech said is not compatible. So Wednesday they'll be back out to run all new cable, because you don't want a spliced cable feeding your internet or cable TV service, because it's just gonna kill your signal. And so they're gonna need to get into my closet, because that's where it comes into my apartment, is through my closets. So that will get taken care of on Wednesday. So hopefully that will allow me to take my internet service out of suspension, and I can hopefully have it going again without someone else screwing it up. And I supposedly will not be dinged for the cost of that, because it was a contractor screw up. But anyway, I'm going to go ahead and take a taste of this banana chip. Crunchy, sweet. This is a papaya, and this is a piece of the pineapple. And it tastes like a sweetened papaya. Same the pineapple. This tastes, I can taste a pineapple, a sweetened version of it. I'm going to go ahead and taste this mocha. That's not too bad. It's a decent mocha. I've had better in the coffee shop, but it's still decent mocha. I can taste the coffee flavor. Look at the glass fiber. I don't know if we have that going in here. I don't know if that's something that the cable companies run, or if that's just the other companies that do landline phone service like CenturyLink. I will not go back to them. They have a lawsuit against them, and once I get my home internet back, I'm going to go ahead and file my claim. I could do it on my phone, but it's just so much harder to do all that stuff on a tiny screen. And it's just easier to do stuff like that on a computer, and I'll be able to print stuff that I want. Whereas I have a hard time. I have never been able to get printing done from my phone, so I just don't even bother with it. So I'm going to go ahead and check to see if my tortillas are soft, or I'll flip it and I'll be right back. I just have my tortillas sitting on the lid. I flip them over and I put the cheese packet on top of the tortillas. So that's just to warm it up just a little bit. I'm going to have some more of these peanuts because these are pretty darn good. A little bit of a chili kick off of these is pretty nice. So it's a good upgrade over your standard peanuts that sometimes don't even come roasted or salted. I don't mind unsalted peanuts, but I would prefer them roasted no matter what. I'm going to give this a sip. Typical artificial drink mix. There's still a lot of undissolved powder in the bottom, so I'm giving it another stir. So the jar that replaced the one, and I guess I did too many hot drinks in it and I couldn't take the stress of another. So no more hot drinks in the drinking jar. So I found a vintage one on eBay. It's not the same style as the one that my mom had given me, but I'm not going to tell her that I broke that one. I'll just keep it between us. James Ortiz is in the house. I have my halal beef stew in the pot, tortillas, and a packet of cheese bread with jalapenos. Coming up, I got chili peanuts from a British ORP, and these are really good. I like these. The bag had 100 grams of these in it. And here is a mocha. A soon house. Thanks for not a bad mocha. And this is just a banana, pineapple, and papaya over here. That came from an XMRE. That was one of those that I got from, all right, Eeyore. And this is just an that obviously artificial. The powder looks like Tang and smells like it. Doesn't quite taste like Tang. But it does the job. It'll give you something to think about other than just drinking water. I'm going to go ahead and grab my beef stew. That should be heated up, and the tortillas, and I'll be right back. I'm just going to slide this over here. There is the cheese spread and the tortillas. This label on this packet is probably going to fall off as I wipe it off, but it's a halal beef stew. I'm just wiping it off just to dry it off so it'll be easier to handle. And this is one of those pouches, a tear notch goes across this way. But I think before I open up the beef stew, I'm going to try a little something here. I'm going to open up the tortillas. I'm going to show you what they look like. They're very young. See, they're easy to open up and to separate. I'm just giving the cheese spread a knead. And what I'm going to do with this one, I'm going to put cheese in it. Basically, this will be call it an M version of quesadilla. I'm just going to leave a little bit in to just to try on its own. Now I squeeze this together. Hidden numismatist is in the house. Thanks for dropping in. I will set that here. I'm just going to have this cheese packet off to the side. Now with this one, I'm going to leave it like that, and I'm going to put the stew on top of it. Just for the heck of it. There we go. There is the stew on top of the tortilla. That will kind of absorb it a bit. Now I'm going to squeeze some of this jalapeno cheese on here just to, because this is my first time having the jalapeno cheese. So see that little green speck? That's a jalapeno. I can just get that little tiny bit of the jalapeno. And the cheese still see there's carrots. So there's carrots in here. Wow, the carrot is very. Here's a potato. The potato has a little bit more bite to it. And there's a piece. That shadow is caused by that little piece is also quite soft. And that little thing right there is part of my foam mount. That's causing a bit of a shadow. So is the arm of it. So the peas are quite soft. And there is a little beef chunk. It's finely shredded, almost to the point of being ground beef. Oh, I'm not sure what you're referring to as about what do I mean by ration, because all of these components come from different rations. So I just mix them up and put them together to make different meals out of it. So I'm going to take a bite of my quesadilla. I'm getting some of the heat from the jalapeno and some of the chipotle flavor from the tortilla. Yeah, I did a bunch of these ration mashups last year. I thought it was fun to do something different. I've never seen other reviewers do a whole mess of these. So I decided to do it again. Yeah, I figured something fun, something different. So yeah, this is not bad. You know, the cheese, the jalapeno cheese. It tastes like salty cheese was with jalapeno in it. So then putting in this chipotle tortilla, yeah, that works. Now the tortilla underneath the stew has gotten quite soft, so I can just kind of lob off a chunk of it like that. And that adds a little bit of kick to the chili, or the beef stew. I want to call it chili, even though it's not chili. But yeah, I just wanted to try this as an experiment to see how well this would work. It doesn't give it any crunch, obviously, but it does give it a little extra flavor with chipotle. Something with a little bit more, does give it a little bit more chew than just the stew alone, because the peas and the carrots and the meat are so soft. But I do like that the potatoes are still a little firmer. But this is still not too bad. I like it this way. I could put the rest of this cheese spread in here just to amp up the spice a little bit. I'm going to go ahead and give this a go with the cheese on it. Probably wouldn't normally think of putting a cheese on a stew, but the jalapeno in there, yeah, that's not too bad. That definitely works. It gives it just a little bit more of a kick. I pick up a bit of the softened tortilla with it. Yeah, that's not too bad. Gonna take a taste of the orange drink again. This is going to turn out to be a pretty decent dinner after all. I'm getting to try something that I thought might be interesting. And so far it's working. I'm just kind of breaking up some of this tortilla that didn't get the stew poured over it. And of course, if I had crackers instead of the tortillas, I would give it a little crunch, but I think this works out pretty well. One of these days I'm going to do what I have seen a few others do with ration components. What Michael Green over in England has done, he would take various ration components, combine them with other ingredients from his kitchen, and makes a meal or a dessert, and he actually serves it to his family. And he gets to find out their reaction to it, see what they think of that idea. So I think it might be fun to give that a try. But that'll be later on in the year, because I got a whole lineup of stuff to get through once I get these ration mashups all knocked out. And I have 3 more bags in the box. So those will get me through Ramadan. And as I said at the beginning, these will be I break my fast just after sunset. And then I will be ready to get my stream going. But as promised earlier, when I got that tobacco, those had an inspection date of 2016 on them, so it'll be interesting to see how they held up. Those were from that sale that MRE Marketplace had when they were selling these tobacco cases for $35 shipping included. So basically $35 free shipping to the US. And I heard about those from Old Smoky, and so I was able to later jump on those and score one. And the cases were shipped out at random, so you would never know what year you're going to get. So I got a 2016 labeled case, so it'll be interesting to see how those have held up. So I will get into those after Ramadan, and I will go back to my usual time slot for these Sunday streams after that. And the only reason why I'm doing these mashups during Ramadan is because of the shutdown here in Iowa. We have to have all large group activities suspended, so all houses of worship in the state have either gone totally dark, or they do what you might call an online service or virtual service, where the minister would lead the service, and then it would be live streamed to whoever wants to watch. We have not done that at my mosque, although I could have offered to do that, since the imam knows that I've done stuff like that before. I had live streamed an Islamic finance class that was given a few years ago. And I put that up on a different channel so that, that I normally don't talk about here, because that's just all Islam related stuff. So I keep that all separate, but I did that. But, and I got someone to live stream the caucus when we had a caucus there in February. I gave the person the password and said, you can live stream from here if you want. So she got on Facebook Live to live stream it. I didn't do that because I was actually assisting with the caucus and showing people where certain things were, or giving people the password who needed it for doing the registrations and for reporting our votes for the various candidates. So the people that needed to communicate those to the party headquarters needed the password to that. So if I didn't give the password to those people, someone else did, but I was there assisting. Yeah, Old Smokey. Yeah, he's cool. I wish I could watch the eating history, but because I don't have any TV service, and I haven't been able to watch it on the History Channel website or find it on their YouTube channel. I may look again, but maybe once I get my internet service, my cable internet service restored, maybe I'll look into getting like Hulu, because he said it's on Hulu. But I don't know how that would work with not having an actual TV. I don't want to spend any of my stimulus money that I'm supposed to get this coming week on a TV. I'd rather spend it on something that would be more appropriate to what I think is best. Like, I want to make an advance payment on a bill, a couple bills actually, and I want to buy some more stuff, just some essentials, and I want to increase my food storage capacity. I'm running out of space to put buckets because I keep filling them, and now I want to get some more buckets because I've added some more stuff that I've repackaged for long-term storage, and I need a place to put it. I need a way to organize it. Plus, there is something that I would like to get that I can have as an emergency backup. Since I live in an apartment, I do not have gas heat. It's electric only. Of course, don't need a heater anymore because it's warmed up too much for that. But I don't have any backup power source. I have a space heater, but that's an electric heater. And I really don't need that. But, of course, I do have it in case I would need it, but I don't have a way to power it yet. So I'm thinking about getting one of those big battery banks or solar generators like a Jackery or an All Powers, or I've seen, and then I've looked at different ones like Anchor and a whole bunch of names that I know are based on Chinese words, but get that, and maybe in the future get a solar panel that I can put out on my deck. I've even seen some that have mini wind turbines, but I don't know. I mean, since I am on the end of the building, I have two sides of my deck that are open, so I could get some wind from it. But, I just wanted to get the power unit first, so I may spend some of that money on one of those power units. That way, I can charge up flashlights or batteries or my phone, or some radios. Now, I just charged up my ham radio yesterday. I listen to it only. I don't broadcast on it because I don't have a ham license yet, but I do listen to it. And I have an emergency radio that I can plug in. I took it to a camp, but I never got to test it. But I have tested it at home, and it does work. Same with my little shortwave radio. But I want to be able to power those, and I want to see if I can. I can't get at my fridge cord to see if I could plug that in. That might not work with something like that, but if I could power other stuff, just so I can keep smaller devices charged or running, or plug a fan into it, that would work. Because I have one small fan that I keep on my counter so I can blow air out of the kitchen if I need to, or just to circulate the air. And I have my tower fan in my bedroom, which circulates air and actually keeps it pretty cool in there, since my air conditioner really doesn't reach into there because all I have is a window unit mounted into the wall. We don't have central air in this building. But if I get something like one of those larger, obviously I'm not going to go expensive like the highest capacity Goal Zero or the Energy Apex or some of those others that are over $1,000. I'm not going to do that because I went to buy supplies and just to keep my preps topped up, and just get some other things that I'm lower out of, and I want to pay a bill or two. Of course, I'll probably get that stimulus money at about the same time that I'm getting my regular SSDI deposit, based on what I have checked out. That's probably how it's going to be timed. Gonna have a drink of the smoker. So I figure if I drop, I just dropped my sport. Oh, well, I'm done with it anyway. I kind of kicked it up with this part of my quesadilla, but there are some decent capacity ones that I've been looking at that I can get now and then get a solar panel later. So I think that's how I'm going to go. Maybe I wouldn't want to spend more than maybe 400 to 500 on one of those things, but at least if I get something like that, I can have some backup power in case the power goes out for whatever reason. So I will be busy with taking care of stuff like that this week, depending on when I get that money, plus my regular monthly Social Security disability deposit. If I can get a bunch of this stuff all knocked out now, then it'll mean that I won't have to go out as often. And even though our governor tomorrow may indicate what additional businesses may be allowed to reopen or what restrictions will be pulled back, that'll depend on, I will probably still limit how often I go out, what I do. And of course, I'll keep wearing a mask, either one of the few surgical masks that I have, or a homemade one with a bandana and a coffee filter and a couple of hair ties. I have to go out to do laundry because our laundry room in this building is not accessible because it's been gutted and is used as a material staging area or a workroom. Well, the rest of the building is getting remodeled. Apartments that are vacant are getting remodeled. They've started doing a little bit to the steps, and the hallway floors need replaced. And so I have to go to a laundromat whenever I want to do a large load of laundry. Otherwise, I just hand wash at home. And because last month I bought a big jug of liquid laundry soap, I can hand wash quite a few times. And I have like a 10-gallon bucket that I can do it in if I want to wash several items at once. So I can do it in that, and I just hang things on my shower curtain rod to dry because I don't have I could run a line on my deck, but because I also found out that we may be getting our decks completely replaced, so I don't dare put anything out there on a permanent basis until that gets done. The loose floorboard did get screwed back down, but because those decks have some rotting issues and they were poorly repaired, just cosmetic things only, I don't dare put anything out there. And what I do have out there, I will pull that back in when it's time for those replacements. Oh, Dub C is in the house. Thanks for dropping in. And also, Alan B. Pro. He is one of my Iowa brothers. And it is unfortunate that he was not able to come to the Country Prepper Memorial Camp. But if you've never watched his channel, he does a lot of stuff about the firearms, and he co-hosts Foreign and Domestic with the Crazy Scotsman. And okay, Bushcraft is in the house. Haven't been to your state in quite a long time, so yep, I've been there twice. Edmond, Oklahoma, which is a suburb of Oklahoma City for those that are not familiar with the area. And I went to Stillwater another time. But yeah, Alan B. Pro, go check out his channel if you're interested in all things a pea shooter. And, you know, of course, the Crazy Scotsman, they do foreign and domestic. I haven't dropped in on any of those streams for quite some time, but I have popped in on a few. And, yeah, he, you know, yeah, he's good people, and he'll show you a lot of stuff if you're interested in that sort of thing. This is a chipotle tortilla with the Ration cheese spread with jalapenos, and I basically made a quesadilla. And the tortilla actually knocks down some of the saltiness of the cheese. And these peanuts are sweet chili flavored peanuts that came from a British ration. And these are pretty good. And I have the mocha cappuccino here. This is just dried banana, a few pieces of papaya, a few pieces of pineapple, but it's mostly banana. Oh, actually, you can. And when you make your own, you can tailor it to your liking, to your taste, or to your dietary requirements. You know, Iridium 242 has a few videos on making MREs with things like the Hormel Completes or the Dinty beef stew that's in the same type of microwavable container. You just basically get rid of the cardboard off of that, and you can either vacuum seal those or just seal them put them in a Ziploc bag. You can put your own items in there, and put them wherever you want to put your emergency food. And I think Rogue Preparedness also has ideas on making your own MREs. And of course, what I'm doing with these ration mashups, I'm basically doing that with these. I'm mixing up the ration components from different rations and reassembling them into totally different meals. So maybe this will give some ideas on what you can put in your own MREs with whatever you want to put in. Say what you get from a store or what you get from other places. Will from Just in Time Prepping is in the house. For those that didn't know, he just got sprung from the hospital. So he is just chilling, watching other people do their thing. So he should be back putting up videos and live streaming sometime soon. He'll probably take a little me time. But yeah, he is glad to be home. There's no better bed than your own bed, except when you're out in the woods. But so if you haven't checked out Just in Time Prepping, go to his channel. Of his older videos, I went rummaging through his archive and pulled up a few that I had not watched, and just watched a few of those. Because he hasn't been on much, he needs to keep his watch time up so that he can keep his monetization stats and keep things like in his library. When I was at the mosque, so I never, or I wasn't able to watch because I had my own issues. Just for whatever reason, I missed those. So, go check out his channel. And especially his leatherwork. I have one of his leatherwork pieces. I won a saw holster from him that he put Ozark Trail folding saw in. He put a compass in it, and he put UST ferro rod with the striker attached that you can close on each other, and then he put some leather cords on it so that I could, for instance, if I wanted to tie the bottom end around my leg to keep it from flopping around, and it has a wide loop for a belt. And then I just took some Gorilla Tape and made a little pot to put my mini army knife. And what he's done with some of his other pieces is and they will send it to him first. Will makes the sheath for it, and then that went to the winner. Or it would go back to the person who had the giveaway, and then it would be sent with the rest of the prizes if there were any. Or he would do just things that someone asks him to do. For instance, if someone has a particular knife that they want a sheath for, that person would send him the knife, and he would make the sheath for it, send it back, and they'd probably kick him a little coin, to cover his labor and materials. And I mean, I even watched his shoulder holster when he made one for his own use. That really has no use for me, since all I have is my Daisy power line. But I saw him I watched his holster making video when he made that shoulder holster, because it was an upgrade to one that he tried, but it just didn't fit him right. But he's got some good stuff on his channel, and when he does his topical things, thanks for dropping in. I'll probably be cutting this down pretty soon anyway, since it's Yeah, I tried not to keep these over an hour and a half, but last week I did go almost 2 hours, but that's okay. It's enjoyable talking to everybody about different stuff and seeing new faces that have never been in here before. I like that. So I hope this, at least temporarily, I hope this time slot is good for a lot of people. So next Sunday will probably be about the same time, about 8:15 Central. It may be pushed back a little bit later, as sunset gets later and later, because the daylight increases a few minutes every week. So it by the last Sunday in Ramadan, it may be closer to 8:30 when I go on. But yeah, do come back next time if you can. But yeah, I like to see new faces coming in, so maybe this is a good time for some who had never been in here before. And you see that dollar sign there, that's for if you want to drop a super chat. And the ones who have been dropping a super chat, sign is for dropping a super chat, and I'm pretty sure everybody in here knows how to do that, but I usually explain that so that if someone watches this later on and is not familiar with how super chat works, then I have explained it in most of my other streams. Munching on these nuts, these peanuts. I really like these. I'd love to get some more of these because these are pretty darn good. I might have to just find some locally. And that way I wouldn't have to buy a British ration and hope that I get another bag of these. But I do have another bag of these that will make an appearance in probably another couple of weeks or something like that, because I have it in one of my other Mashup bags. But yeah, these sweet chili peanuts, they're pretty darn good. I wanted to have I had my slider open all the way earlier to get that nice fresh air in here, but because it was getting super noisy, I closed it right before I went live because I didn't want to have all that extra noise and people yelling. And one of the things you got to deal with when you're living in the city and close to a busy street. I'm not sure which one of my bags I will pull up next Sunday. I just grab them. Yeah, sometimes it can, but it was really, really loud. So I just didn't want to take the chance of having that extraneous noise and possibly anybody cussing, because there was some cussing going on, some yelling, and I just didn't think that would be appropriate in case someone who was of lesser age might be watching one of these. Not that any of them do, I don't know, but just in case someone might have their kids watching. But, I'm just not one for cussing. It would take a lot to get me to cuss, but I heard that earlier, and I just didn't want to have that in my stream. I want to keep it family friendly, like a lot of other channels try to say. They want to have as little foul language as possible, but it is what it is. I also have that zombie ration 24-hour that I got from allmres.com. So that will be coming up later. And I have the 3 hot weather MOREs, the modular operational ration enhancement. Since those are primarily snacks and drinks, what I might do is I might actually combine those with just stuff I have at home and try to make something different with it. And of course, I also have a duplicate of a cold weather ration, the meal cold weather. I have a turkey tetrazzini that I had reviewed once already. I have a second one, and eventually I will give that away. I just haven't decided how or when I'm going to do that. So maybe I might make that as my 1500 when I get to 1500, or I just may do it as a secret giveaway. And I tried to do that with, and I don't think that one went off as well as I had hoped, but I got it to someone who ended up actually needing a light like that, and so that will serve him well. And he did a mail call on it. That was Danny Schwab who won that, and but yeah, I have some. I have a whole setup that I want to do for that meal cold weather giveaway. I just haven't figured out how or when I'm going to do it, but still going to sit on that idea, and so that will be coming up later in the year. And I didn't film it, but when I went to, but TAC did. At the memorial camp, I did give Steve Brahms, who also goes by the name Willie, I did give him a tray. So I asked him if he had eaten that MRE that someone had given him, and he said no. And I said, here's a tray for it. And I gave him one of those 2 silver round trays that I found at a thrift store for 90 cents each. Yeah, they had 2 of them there, and I bought both. So I have that other one, and that one will not be kept here. I figure I got 2 trays. I don't think I need a third. Although it might be fun to use that one at least once. It's a round one that has a large main section and then 3 smaller sections. So it has a little bit more capacity than my Tupperware tray, but it doesn't have an area for utensils like this one and my Tupperware tray has. But yeah, maybe I might pull that one out for something special. I don't know, but yeah, I'm still looking for ideas on how to give away that meal cold weather, because I think someone who's never had one of those might be interested in trying that. And I do plan on getting some more of those later in the year, but I got other rations to go to first. But getting a meal cold weather would be a good way to introduce yourself to some of the Mountain House foods. Like the turkey tetrazzini. I wish they would do that in a commercial package, like you can go to a Walmart or some camping outdoor supply store or online, and just get that same one, because I thought it was really good. It's a bit salty, but it was still really darn good. I like that. And then when I had the Titan ration from Minotaur Trading, that had 2 additional freeze-dried entrees, the chili mac and the spaghetti. I thought those are really good too. So I enjoyed both of those. So there are some other ones that I want to get my paws on, but that will be later on in the year when I get those. But I'll probably get those from Foreign Emery. And there are some other things that I would like to get my paws on, but those will wait for another time. But, I got those Sapacos. So after Ramadan, I will be getting into those Sapacos, the low sodium Emerys. See how well they've held up. Those. I have no idea of them are. It only says a few, so I don't know if those are the only ones, duplicates of some of them, or 14 different menus in there. So I'll find out when I do crack that box. But is there anything else that anyone wants to ask or just chat about while I'm munching on my peanuts? Otherwise, I'll probably just go ahead and call this one done, hand it off to YouTube to process it, and hopefully it doesn't take 16 hours like the last one did. I don't know why it took so crap long for that one to process, but it did. I was afraid I was going to lose it, and all the work I did to set it up and broadcast it, and and I had a super chat on it. I was hoping I wouldn't lose any of that, and fortunately I didn't. It's there, so can go watch that one. But this one has been enjoyable. It's good to see some people in here that have not come in here. This time slot will work out for other people, and may not work out for some who came in at 6 o'clock or in the 6 o'clock slot. But we'll see how this goes. If it wasn't for this big nasty going around, I would be at the mosque anyway, having supper with 150 other people. So, but we had to toss that idea down the crapper. But anyway, it's good to see all of you in here, and so I think I'm going to go ahead and call this one good. So I do want to thank you all for watching, and again, check out Alan B. Pro, check out Just in Time Prepping, especially watch a bunch of his videos that you haven't seen before, and if you leave a comment, if you're binge watching, leave a comment on each one of those videos. Otherwise, the AI will think it's just a bot and not give them the watch time, because that has happened. So, I left a comment on the few older videos that I've watched, and I'll probably check out some of his Friday streams that I've missed, because I've always wanted to see what they talked about and know. So I'll probably binge watch a couple of those in the near future. So anyway, thanks for watching, and stay tuned to next week. Again, around 8:15 U.S. Central. And later on, if I have to push it back a few minutes, I do. But, I'm following the sunset. So, when I break my fast. So, again, thanks for watching, and catch you on the flip side.